Well, everyone, the iPhone SE 3rd generation has been out for a few weeks now, and I kind of wanted to make a follow-up review of this iPhone. Nothing crazy has changed, it's just pretty much solidified my opinion on this device. Like I said, I think something like the iPhone SE 3 I think it's a good iPhone, but I don't think it's a good iPhone for the price tag, I think things like the design of this iPhone and the home button and everything, I think there's still a market for it, and I think people really want it. And I love Touch ID. Touch ID is one of the coolest things ever. But even throughout the last, I think, few weeks of testing this iPhone and comparing it and reviewing it and all these other things, it just still solidifies my opinion that this iPhone is severely overpriced. When you look at the predecessor that was sold for $399 back in 2020, and I look at this iPhone that increased in value to $429, it increased in price. It did not really increase in value. The parts of this iPhones have been around for many, many years. The design of this iPhone has been out for a long time too, so there really isn't any reason why this iPhone is sold at this price tag. But after comparing it to the previous iPhone, the SE3, the SE2, I didn't really see too many differences. It was a little bit faster here and there, I guess, but we still are stuck with that home button, which we still have to wait for the, clicking of that home button to go through and everything. So that was also a little bit of an annoyance too. And I do think, it is a fast phone. It's not a slow phone by any means, but when we're stuck with that home button, it really slows things down. It's crazy how much slower it feels. Now, to rewind some time, I did compare this thing to the iPhone 13 as well, and I thought the SE3 did a decent job at being kind of compared to it in terms of a speed standpoint, but in terms of camera, battery life, pretty much everything else across the board, it just didn't really, fare too well. My SE3 did actually outperform my iPhone 13 in the battery standpoint, but it was funny, and the only reason that happened was because my iPhone 13 has been used for a while. I didn't factory reset it. If I were to factory reset it, the iPhone 13 would run numbers across the iPhone SE3. So the SE3 is going to be better than a lot of iPhones because it's a brand new device that has 100% battery capacity, has never been used before. So that's a big thing to keep in mind. I think something like my iPhone SE3 sits at a very good price tag at $199, maybe even $249. But anything beyond that, it just is not a good priced iPhone by any means, even in terms of a speed standpoint. It's not that much faster than my Apple A13 Bionic chip on my iPhone SE3. So because of that, there isn't really a crazy big reason to go from that iPhone to this one, and there really isn't a crazy big reason to jump in price tag from that iPhone to this one as well. Now, another big thing that I was kind of disappointed with, which I wasn't expecting to be severely disappointed with, was the camera. Typically, I don't really care too much about, comparing cameras. I compare a lot of cameras, but I don't really, get too hung up on it. And with this iPhone, I actually did, mostly because when I compared it to my iPhone 11, my iPhone 11's camera is severely better than this one, and the iPhone 11 is only $70 more than this. So I feel like Apple could have done a better job at this camera quality. That's not to say the iPhone SE3's camera is horrible, but again, for the price tag, it just doesn't make any sense. You can buy like an iPhone 11 Pro probably for the same price as this one in the used market, and I think that iPhone has a much better camera than this one. So because of that, it doesn't make any sense why this camera is still at this caliber. Only 1080p on the front, 4K 60 on the back, which is great, but only a single lens. That isn't a really good sign for the specific iPhone. And if you want something that even has a little bit of a better camera, and really only going to the next step up with the iPhone 11, that is a much better camera than this thing. So because of that, it really doesn't make any sense why the iPhone SE3 is priced at it where it's at, basically. Now, the last few weeks as well, I've been installing the latest versions of software, which only got one update, iOS 15.4.1, which pretty much fixes a battery bug. So we should expect the iPhone SE3's battery life to be a little bit better now, which again is really, really good to see. But I would be curious to see how much this iPhone is going to go down in the used market. A big thing people have been saying, and one thing that has been kind of speculated, is that the iPhone SE3 is not going to sell too well. So because of that, the iPhone SE3 is stuck in a weird position yet again. We're going to be in a position where the iPhone SE3 is just not really going to be getting probably a long lifespan ahead of it. I feel like this iPhone, Apple wants it to last maybe another 2-3 years, and then maybe they'll do another refresh, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Apple maybe even next year, maybe even less than a year, I don't know, they're probably going to be releasing another iPhone SE on top of this one, or to replace this one, I don't know, just to fix those sales numbers in my opinion. Now, I do think something like the iPhone 11 is a much better deal than this. If Apple did not have the iPhone 11, that'd be a completely different story, but I think the iPhone SE3 isn't really worth it in my opinion for the price tag, and a few weeks later, nothing has really changed. My opinion is pretty much still the same as it was before, and after the comparisons, after the reviews, the initial ones, it's pretty much solidified my opinion on this iPhone. It really isn't worth it, It's not a bad iPhone, but the price tag of it is just way too high. it should be $399. It should have barely even been $399 before. $249, this phone would have been a hit. I think at $429 is just way too expensive. So I think that pretty much covers it. If you have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.